Hi there. This is Angela Coulter bringing you the November 2015 Metaphysical / Spiritual Energy Update. Because wow, what an update it is. I'll tell you, the conversations have been amazing and fascinating this past month especially. Things have really amped up. So, I have a couple of things to talk about today that are really prominent around us in the world, within our families, within our lives, within ourselves. What we have been going through this past month has been so phenomenally, let's just say transformative, shall we? And funny that, on the 3D tools to support the energetic messages that we give ourselves, it's funny that we're coming through the end of October into early November, which, on the astrological calendar is the scorpionic time of the year, which is all about death and transformation. And so, what a perfect time for this to have gone on. Have been going on. I mean, we've been transforming and continually accelerating our shifting for a long time now. But it's like we hit the uptick in the exponential curve this year. And what has happened is we basically feel like we have no ground anywhere anymore. Like no ground, not even just under our feet, but anywhere. And part of our journey, part of what we signed up to do and what we created is the amazingness of getting used to being here in the 3D without a ground under our feet. And so what that really does for us is it's been very productive and yet very challenging for many. And I would say it really ramped up this month, but it's really been going on all summer. So it's been this time for us to let go of the old 3D ways, the old 3D laws, the old 3D, laws of all different kinds of phenomena, science and whatever, and let go of the way that we have existed here in the 3D forever. Now, the way I work is this is a very small piece of our consciousness, but we have had such a practice of limitation within this part of our consciousness during this whole duality-based existence that my understanding, and I'll have so much more to talk about this. In fact, I'm writing a whole book on it coming up in very short term, is that we're here now to change the habit, to change the cycle so we can transform into the next version at this level. And we're combining a whole bunch of different dimensions that used to be separate, different parts of ourselves that used to be separate. And what I do is, I focus with people to come into their wholeness, to remember their wholeness, to step into their power. And so I'm very cognizant and very aware because, of course, I'm going through it myself as well as everybody around me. But what's really interesting and really important to understand is we have things that are just shaking our world, period. When we look at another tool that is a symbol of messages that we created here in the 3D, which is the tarot deck, it really is symbolic of the Tower card, which is everything crumbling around you. Now, a lot of people are afraid of that card. So what do you mean everything's crumbling? And it's because it's extreme, complete transformation and complete letting go of stuff, of the old regime, of the old structures and institutions and ways we've done things, and the way we've held on to things that don't serve us, even if the ego really wants to. Now, what came up in October was a lot of the things that have been hidden underneath the rocks and crevices. Even some of the most advanced spiritual practitioners I know, who are really got this by the handle, and including myself, I consider lost a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Let's just say stability. Not stability, that's not the right word. perspective, or boy, I can't even find the word right now. Basically, lost a little bit of the ground, not the grounding, but just like being able to hold on to everything, right? And well, let's wow, I can't even think of words right now. Funny, I'm writing a book, but let's just say we have lost the footing. That's the word, the footing, for a little while. Because even those of us who've done really, really, really focused efforts on our own shifting, our own development, our own remembrance, the ego, what's left, what happens is what's left are the things that the ego is masterful at hiding in the cracks and crevices, like I was saying. So what's happened in October was, guess what? No more cracks and crevices. Everything got washed out with the tsunami, and now we have to look at all of it. And so the higher self, the higher consciousness, the collective higher consciousness as well, all saying, yeah, we don't have time for this anymore. You know what? We've come along at a good clip. Things have shifted. Now it's time to get rid of all the crumbs. So that's manifested itself into many people's lives in death, sickness, really just life-altering, life-stopping, life-shifting events, either within ourselves or with those around us, relationships falling away if they don't serve us. And, the thing is that we have gotten into the habit of the known evil kind of thing, right? The ego says, well, it sort of stinks, but yeah, I know it. I know what it is, and at least it's a known evil, because it could be worse, right? The could be worse is one of the worst things for us to think, because that's always an ego statement. Because there is nothing except for right now, right? When we look at it from the bigger perspective, this is all dreamed up. So what we've forgotten along the way is that not only are we the player, the actors and actresses in our own play or our own dream, we are also the dreamer, the writer, the producer. And so I saw this fabulous write-up just a couple of days ago, and it was such a great slap in the face to really see it. And I say this all the time, and I teach this all the time, about this is the illusion or the dream that we create as part of the divine consciousness. But the statement was, having is an indicator of wanting. Okay? And what that means from that perspective of, if it is in our reality, we have it here because we want it here. Which is a really challenging thing for us to accept, especially when it's a very trying situation or denigrating, something that allows us to be in the victim roles. But it's time for us to let go of the victim roles altogether and to remember we are the dreamer as much as the dreamed. And so when we look at it from that perspective, it's like, well, if it's in my reality, it's in here for a purpose. Now, part of what we work on is acceptance. What focus on is acceptance from the higher perspective that there is no right or wrong or good and bad. No, oh my God, I'm so dumb for doing this, because that's usually the first reaction that many have in looking at that. It's, first of all, focusing on acceptance of everything, right? So one of the mantras that I've been sort of helping people with and working with myself through October was, I surrender, I accept, I allow, and I embrace. And that's it's been a powerful, those 4 statements just like that are very, very powerful in our transformation. When we surrender and allow things to roll out, we can hold ourselves in this place of there's no resistance. When we allow the flow, we can hold ourselves in a higher vibration of love. And we can focus on basically sitting in a space of love. And when we allow and things flow from that space of love, they flow much better. And the ego tries to hold on, white-knuckled, no, I don't want to let go. Wow, and it is really powerful. People's parents dying, spouses dying, or leaving their lives, or children dying. um, and and depression. There's all this, and part of it is this it's collective as much as it's individual, because it is time for the death of the old 3D. And so, to have the death, everything needs to crumble. And I don't look at death as a negative thing. I look at it as a transformative, expansive graduation to the next better thing. So if we stop looking at it as a scary thing as well, oh, can it be worse? Are we going to make it worse? No, because now it's time to break the cycle that we've had for so many eons, that we keep on peaking in remembrance and then we crash, we peak in remembrance and then we crash. And now it's time to peak in remembrance and evolve to the next thing, to our next game, whatever that is. But it is evolution, it is graduation, and it is a much more consolidated, unified space of creation from a space of love, versus ego and separation. So interestingly, so I'm not a big, I teach the Trinity Energy Progression. It's all about coming back into our divine selves, the unified consciousness that we are a part of. And so I teach and I live all about we need no tools outside of us, but, we are the tool, we created them. Our physical bodies are tools too, but the core of divine consciousness is within all of us. However, like I said, it's really funny to watch all of these tools show the same message over and over. Time to let go. It's the death of the old world. It's the death of the old us. It's the death of our old lives. It's time for us to now create fresh. So what that also means is we have, in October, we completely finished all of these cycles. And I see cycles in spirals versus a circle, because we've had so many lessons and we have all these spirals that are sort of come down to this one neck. And then we have it with everybody else into the collective. So we completed a ton. So we should stand up and celebrate, because we really have gotten here. A little uncomfortable, a lot uncomfortable for some people. So the thing, though, is now we're coming into the new dawn. Funny that I look up and there's a picture behind my computer of a sunrise. It is a new dawn of creation, and now we look at things from a holistic view. We take what we know here in our heads and bring it down into our heart, and because here's from the ego and separation, and here is creation from unity and from love. And when we do that in a holistic way, because we create from unity, in unity, and with the consciousness of natural, complete integration when we create. So it's much more flowing, it's much easier. But in the meantime, we have this huge transition period. So there's like this breath, right? The tower has crumbled. There's a breath. And I promise you, we should all just take some deep breaths here. Let's do that again. In that space of nothingness, the void from which we create, we have this consciousness and remembrance of that in a different way right now, because of what's crumbled. And in that space of the void, the ego has a freak out. Who am I? I don't know who I am. I'm useless. I am not, doing the right thing. I missed, so many people say, I think I missed the doorway. I think I screwed up because my ego was holding on so much. And it's like, no, it is just this breath of newness and creation at this level of consciousness from a place that we haven't accessed for a long time, at this level. And actually all across the universe. So by the way, one of the things that I find that has been limiting for many is the belief of no ego beyond the 3D. Anytime, my understanding is the ego's job has been to explore separation. Anytime there's any being that has an identity of any kind, there is ego involved, whether it's individual or collective. So Keep that in mind, because when we have ego, there's a separation, and there is a me and not me, and a yes and a no, a right and a wrong. And when we look at it from the holistic point of view, it's all yes, it's all perfect. We make it in perfection of natural assimilation. So now, in this breath of nothingness, and the ego says, oh my God, I'm dying, I don't know what to do, and we are the old us is dying. But the good part is, yes, we will still continue on, and yet we will still be able to be in a place of identity without being connected to it. And one of the biggest messages I've been getting recently has been the death of attachment to identity. And I've been writing a lot about this in the book that I'm writing. So it's important for us to let go of our attachment to identity, because we will continue to create identities. But the importance is this: we are changing so fast that us holding on to any identity of who we were yesterday, 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago, any of that, if we hold on to that, or hold on to who somebody else was, we are limiting ourselves, and we're holding on to the rock instead of going with the flow. And so it's become so fast, the current has become so fast, that we end up hurting ourselves through that resistance. And so it's important for us to let go of our attachment to identity, so that we can flow and shift and change hour to hour, minute to minute, second to second. Wow, I can't tell you. I was laughing because there's a bunch of people that I talk to, and we all have the same kind of understanding. And we were going through several weeks there where we're like, oh my God, have we all gone bipolar? Have we all gone bipolar? Because it's like, great this minute, totally lost the next minute, great 5 minutes later, because we're changing so fast. Because and so it's starting to flow out. Those of us who are really allowing, and I'll tell you, I'm still having, moments of being lost. Nobody isn't. Anybody who is embodied here right now is going through this. And whether they admit it or not, that's up to them, because, there's this old perception of those who are in spiritual leadership can't show their weakness, but part of it is being completely vulnerable and honest and saying, well, hey, we're all in this together. We all came here together. We are all the divine together. And, we set up to have this experience. And we think it's fabulous. It's some level of consciousness. And most days it is. But the more we flow with it, and I really say right now it is so primal and so basic that it's important to do meditation of some sort, turning within of some sort every day, if not multiple times a day. A friend of mine one day said, okay, I've had to go in like 4 times today because things got so shaky. And if you do, that's fine. There have been times I've gone in several times. And here's the thing. We start existing, the more we do this, we just start existing in that space of centeredness. And that's being the calm in the storm. So the more we can stay that calm in the storm, the more we can stay centered, the easier all of this stuff, whatever's left that's crumbling, is just going. And that we're flowing and expanding and creating from a fresh place. So I started saying, the tool, again, going back to the Tower card and the Tarot deck. Funny enough is, after I do my meditations every morning, I always, just for fun, there's one deck that I use. It's called the Fifth Elements. It's a 5-suit deck, and Ether is the 5th one. So interestingly, I pulled the Tower. I did pull the Tower card this morning, which I thought so fitting, right? And then the next card after that was the 3 of Shells, the 3 of Water. And it's all about celebration, actually. And those 2 cards together said to me, yes, the Tower has crumbled, and it's time to celebrate the new world. And that's exactly what I was getting in meditation. I always tend to see that, I'll pull 2 cards at the end just to see, and it usually pretty much reflects exactly what I saw while I was out there. But it felt such a shift of newness, of wait a second, now I'm creating in the holistic, unified way of, I'm not looking at, oh, well, I've got this thing has been annoying me, and this thing's been annoying me, and this is really thing. It's just like, you know what? The whole picture is perfect and divine, and I don't have to look at every piece of it. I can breathe into it from my heart in oneness and in love, and just balance that out all naturally. And then it was funny because there were some things that happened instantaneously right after my meditation. So that really reflected that. So really important. If you don't have a meditation practice, I implore you to stop watching all these videos of people talking about this stuff and just go meditate. It's truly so important. I have, so many have come to me like, oh my God, what's going on? And they know how I will always start with, well, this is what's going on energetically, in the collective as well as individuals. So people will come like, what's going on in the world is crazy. My life is crazy. I'm crazy, and the first question I always ask is, are you meditating in some way, shape, or form? Now, my students, they know. Are you doing your self-focused time? Doing your healing work? Or creating work? Actually, I call it creation work. Do you do your creation work? Are you doing that every day? Are you getting centered every day? And a lot of times, guess what happens? A lot of people say no. No, I've been so stressed. No, I've been so angry. But the best time to go in and do this is when we feel stressed and angry and have a headache or physical ails, because all of that are symptoms of the discombobulation of what's going on. Again, if we come back to the center, we come back to the center. And that is one of the first and foremost things. If you do nothing else, and you take 5 to 10 to 15 minutes or more, please do, to quiet your mind. And if you don't know how to do that, contact me, please, at spiritualalchemy.net or trinityenergyprogression.com, Coulter at spiritualalchemy.net, or Coulter at trinityenergyprogression.com. You can reach me either one of those. And I teach people how to do this. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm doing Periscope meditations now on a regular basis, because it's time for all of us to really get to the center of, instead of, yes, we're helping each other, but really most important is to help ourselves and get to that centeredness. Because when we're in that centeredness, we can deal with everything from a higher perspective, and we stopped reacting from fear, anger, all those separation-based energies and emotions. Woof. So, a little bit of cranky stuff, but a lot of awesomeness ahead. And again, I look up at this picture of the sunrise. It's like the dawning of a new day. It is truly the dawning of a new age, the dawning of a new cycle. Let's just breathe again. That feels so good. And breathe into your heart, because it's really, really, truly powerful thing. And when you get caught up, just do that. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel into your heart and be in that moment. And that'll help just like that. So, the dawning of a new day. So, I'm not saying that all the difficulties are past. I'm saying that we're seeing the light. And I'm saying that the more we accept and embrace a new transformed butterfly, the less the caterpillar is going to be holding us back in the chrysalis. So, I myself am ready to spread my wings. And how about you? So let's do a clearing quick before we get off today. And let's see, what would our intention be? How about let's just stick with that. Oh, wait, there's a whole other piece I got to talk about quick. Sorry, the guidance comes in. Part of what has been the biggest resistance, why we have repeated things that have come back again, these are cycles and spirals and all this kind of stuff, however you want to look at it. And people are banging their heads against the wall saying, I thought I cleared this, I thought I changed this, I thought I was done with this, and things are circling back around, whatever. So again, having is an indicator of wanting. So you want it in your reality. And part of it is this, and I know there's going to be a lot of ego screaming from this statement, but we love the journey. We're in love with this journey. We feel like the journey is better than the destination. And an example of that is this. What do you feel like when you read an awesome book and you're so excited, you get to the apex of the whole thing, everything resolves, you close the book, and then you're like, now what? Movies, books, that's what we have in our life too. And so, look at all the quotes, oh, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's actually the destination just as much as the journey. And by the way, the destination already done. So we've already gotten there. Okay? This is a dream. We're outside of space and time. It's all happened already. So, no, it's already done. We got through it. We're back together as in the oneness. You know, we are, well, we never left, but we remember we're in the oneness. And part of this is I love the destination as much as I love the journey. That is one of the intentions to set for ourselves. To be able to accept that because we are in love with even the trauma, the drama, the illness, the separation, everything that we've created in this dual-based reality, not just Earth, but across the universe. And so it's important for us to get to the place of, I love the destination and I love the journey. And then you go into these, I surrender, I accept, I allow, and I embrace. And all of it is perfect. So let's go and do that, and let's hold our sit. And so the intention is we step out of space and time. So watching this video is fine. Close your eyes and you relax, and we take those statements and we do what we can, whatever's to be done for every one of us individually and collectively, so that we can fully exist in and manifest from the reality and vibration, the vibration reality of that, where those statements are truth for us and always. So let's go and do that, shall we? And the other part of this is, I create from unity. And exist from unity too. Okay. Wow, fabulous. Hugeness. Hugeness. So thank you for joining me. So fascinated to see what is coming in the month and the months ahead. I'm fascinated to see what comes in the days ahead. And if you need some help, I have some packages. I have some programs that are actually getting put up online shortly about 31 days to the inner self. And I also have a one-day class coming up November 14th on self-development via divine consciousness. And that's actually the self-development from going within and being able to do energy work and healing and shifting and getting the bigger perspective on how to do that, and giving you the power to do it. So, and it's a pilot class, so it's marked down considerably from what it's going to be in 2016. So there are all these tools, and there's plenty of other ones from others as well. So you can look me up, you can look others up, but make sure you do that inner work and inner play. I call it our inner focus, because the more we do that, the more fabulous it becomes. So holding a space of love for all of us, and I will see you next month, I'm sure. Have a fabulous one. Thanks. Love you.